Hello everybody, it's the Left-Handed Lady coming at you today with our May Plan With Me and a new bullet journal setup. I've got a brand new Scribbles That Matter A5 bullet journal and I'm so excited, as well as a fully bold color selection for our journal setup. And it's based off of my nails last week. I fell in love with these smiley faces, and sneak peek, my nails today are a preview of what our May setup will be looking like. This is my old journal. Went with a green theme, but I love this deep, dark, it's called bottled green, and I love it. I love it so much that I accidentally did this spread without filming it. So this is my plan ahead spread. This is what we're starting with. And I spaced out 3 on each side of a full page spread. They are, I believe, 6 spaces a piece in a Scribbles That Matter journal. And then I'm just using this confetti washi tape that has all the colors on it on either side. And then I'm using my Cricut cutout letters for the titles on the side, I guess, like the banners. I went ahead and cut it out on my Cricut with these bold colors that I'll be using throughout my spreads to tie it all in, because I'm really loving my little Cricut joy and I've been using it all the time. So I have 2021 and 2022 on the right side of the page, and the other side says plan ahead, because this has the next 7 months of this year, and then it's got also 5 months of next year on here to plan out for my future journal. I hope to make this one last all the way until December. I have a big plan for this journal and I want to see if I can follow through with it. So I went kind of overboard and I'm using the Cricut on some watercolor paper now, and I'm adding, can you guess? Gold. I'm adding gold watercolor to it, and I love it because I know I'm going to be using gold accents throughout my piece, throughout all of my spreads. I just can't get away from all of this gold. I love it. So I'm adding it to this spread because I needed another color, and why not? But the Cricut is really simple, and if you don't have the money or can't afford a big version, the Joy does wonderful things, especially for journaling and scrapbooking. As long as you're not doing large projects, it's amazing. And I make custom cards on it too. So okay, so now I'm going to be taking a tape runner, which is just like a whiteout runner. You've seen me use those before, but tape. And it works really well because on top of the washi tape, it kind of rubs off where you don't stick paper to it. So I can rub off the excess. It's really nice. And I'm just lining these up in the middle of the washi tape so that the cutout decals get the confetti parts. I think it looked really cute. And then I'm doing it on the other side as well. I really love that I went with such a bold color scheme, and I hope that I enjoy it for the rest of the year because it was a very bold choice, but I'm loving it so far. But as I said, you can just rub off that excess sticky and it's perfect. Then I am taking a fine liner and going over all of those sectioned lines. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that they are 6 or 7 cubes apart, but I will have to double check that because I don't have my journal with me right now as I'm doing a voiceover. But I have done this spread in the past 4 journals, I believe, and it is a lifesaver because I don't set up my spread until about a week or 2 before the month starts, and to have this to fall back on when somebody tells me an important date is really nice. Okay, on to our next spread, and of course we're using a Cricut piece again. I cut this out on my Cricut Joy, and it writes it for you. It's an image that was given to me by Cricut for their software, and I just loved it so much, and it was so similar to my style that I just went ahead and did it, and then I'm coloring it in. I had a lot of hand pain this month, and I'm not understanding why, but I had to lean back on the drawing in certain parts of this journal because I wanted other parts to shine, and this was really nice. So it's an opportunity for you to use other artworks that are free to you or included in your Cricut package, and just add them to your journal for a little bit of color. So this is going to be the quote page on the left-hand side of my lady time tracker. Everybody knows I use these in all of my journals, and they are lifesavers. Most people use your phone or some kind of other electronic tracking device for that kind of thing, but I use my journal, and it makes it very visual and easy for me to track and remember and see, and I love it. And I highly recommend it for anybody who doesn't like doing it on a phone. It tracks all different types of symptoms or things that I can change. I just have all of the months that are going to be in this journal across the top, and then days of the week, and you just map them out with lines and fill them in as the month goes according to whatever key you want to go with. You could also go with a completely different color for this spread if you're a little bit less literal as I am. You do not have to make a red lady time tracker, so just keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be as bold as mine. That's just my style, I guess. My air conditioning just went off and it's so quiet now. So sorry for the bad audio. I'm trying to figure this out. But yeah, like I said, you're just doing the columns and then you fill them in as you go. And you can use those little boxes up top to label whatever types of things you want to track. This could go across the board for not even woman trackers, for other things as well. Okay, and then my camera cut out here. I am so sorry, but it has a quote on the side that says, "I have come so far, I can't go back to where I used to be." And I loved it, and I thought it was very inspiring. So like, I can look back at this it's very helpful spread, but not so great to look at spread, if you know what I mean, and have such a good reminder to keep going and doing what I'm doing. And this is from Jasmine from Aladdin, so that's a little sneak peek for my plans, I guess, if you can think. Comment down below what you think I'm doing. So these are just cutouts that I did on my Cricut. You could also just do with a paper cutter. They were just very simple squares, and I am laying them out on my next spread for my pet log. And everybody who knows me knows that I have tons of pets. I have dogs and mini fish tanks, and I love to take care of them as if they are my children. I track everything, whether it is a scrape or a boo-boo to a surgery or sadly a death. I did lose a whole fish tank in Snowmageddon we had here in Texas, and that sucked, but I have new fish now. I finally got up the courage and the money to restock that tank, and I love it so much. So I'm excited to track these. It has my dogs and everything. Anytime that something happens with them or I'm giving them medicine for some reason, I can track it here, and then I have a full log of everything that's going on. So if I treat a tank with medication, I have it written down. It just works really well, and it usually lasts me the whole time the journal is there. So I have it for the past 4 journals, and some of my tanks and my dogs I've had that whole time, so I can go back and see all of their different things. Now this is Gypsy Rose. She's my oldest. She's a bull mastiff, and she is the biggest dog and also the biggest lap dog. And I have Ladybug, who is a French bulldog, and she is sweet as all can be. And then her twin sister, Indy, they were both born on 4th of July, and so she is Independence Day and Lady Liberty. And then I have my newest member of the family, Yodi, and I love her so much. She is a stray, and we have no idea what she is. She's a little coyote, that's what I call her. Then I've got all of my tanks on the other side. The saltwater tank, my axolotl tank, I have a beta tank, or 2 beta tanks actually, and then I have a 110-gallon freshwater tank. And I really have to keep on top of what I'm doing with those tanks, so it's really helpful for me to do that. Our next page is going to be my debt tracker, or my money saver page. I just cut out this cute little mason jar in green paper on the Cricut, and the Cricut actually draws all of those lines just like the flowers. And then I've got this little money symbol, and I'm just sticking it in there to add a little bit of dimension, I guess. And I couldn't decide on whether I wanted to do the lid, and I nixed it. I don't know if I agree with that. I might put it back in later. I don't know. So I'm breaking the jar up into 4 sections. There's a certain debt point that I'm trying to reach or pay off, and I'm just dividing it, and then you get a lovely shot of my head, which is, I'm so sorry. I filmed these late at night. This is my sketch head. Anyways, I am just writing out my goals and then ticking them off to each payment that I'm making, and then I will fill it up to that mark every time that I make the payment. Super visual, super helpful to keep going in paying off debts, I guess. I don't know. Make something not so fun, colorful and fun. That's kind of my motto for my life. And so that's what I'm doing. There's enough on the other side to make like another one if you wanted to, but I didn't do that, and I don't know if I will. But you could like divide the jar into 2, or you could put 2 jars on there. That's fun. But whatever works for you, or you could just go with graphs or charts, or not even track it at all because it's not that fun. But I loved this little mason jar, and I wanted to use it as a money jar. So that is the right-hand side of my spread, and the other side is going to be one of my most useful and / boring spreads that I've ever done, and I'm not going to change it up because it works really well for me. So I just use the bold colors, and I'm doing my When Did I Last spread. So this is where I track when I cleaned under my bed, or cleaned my makeup brushes, or checked my oil in my car, or deep clean the filters in the fish tanks, or clip the dog's nails. It's very beneficial whenever you are a very busy person and you don't have a routine. It's something that you can't do on a routine, like changing your oil or clipping the dog's nails. It's not like you do that every week. So I track them here to make sure that I'm on top of things, and I can look back and be like, oh wow, I haven't done that in 2 months, I need to do that. Or I need to clean under my bed, wow, I haven't done that in a couple weeks. Like, it's really helpful. So I just have a section, I think it's 3 dots deep, to have each of the tasks. You can do whatever you want in those little labeled spots, and then you write the date that you do them just across the top. I do it with 3 spots because I like to have a list on top and then a list on bottom. So if it's something that I do a lot, or that I need to do more regularly than others, I can have 2 lists instead of just fitting it all into 1 row. And it works really, really, really well. So like I said, this is a spread that I've used for years, and I'm not going to change it, but I thought that I would include all of my spreads, even though you've probably all seen them in my last Plan With Me, just a slightly different rendition, but this is the same thing over again, because my last journal spread was actually blue, and it was the login spread, and I loved it because it worked so well. So I just kept with it. This is just a 2-page spread. I cut out little locks and keys. I don't know why, because I love my Cricut, like I said. And I just did simple logins and passwords. Now each of these columns is for like the website, my username, and then my password. My journal is a very sacred place to me. Like, I monitor what I'm writing on these videos, and I always monitor where it is, so it's okay for me to have it like this. But if you're a teenager or if you're willy-nilly with your journal, I wouldn't recommend putting any bank passwords or anything like that in here, but it's really good for logins and different softwares. I started using it as a college student because there were so many different websites I needed to log into, and it's just very helpful. Okay, and our last setup space is going to be our Happy Moments page, and I cut out these little Polaroids for every month, and this is kind of a sneak peek again because I'm hoping that I can do these months in these colors. Trying to pre-plan my themes for the rest of this year, because I have a wonderful idea that maybe you will all catch on to once we open up May's spread. But I am just wanting to put all of these in, and then I haven't decided whether I'm going to draw in my happy moments, like just a little doodle of the happy moment, or if I'm actually going to print out pictures and put them in. I could do either, or I could mix them up, but that's what I'm going to do. And it just starts out with May. So as you can tell, I told you my nails are a precursor to our May color, and it's going to be blues. But can you guess the full theme before I flip it over? I'm going to give you some time, because this is a simple spread and I don't need to explain it. It is Lilo and Stitch. Now, I'm so upset with myself because I messed up the first one, and then I got frustrated with that drawing, and so I redrew a whole nother one in a scrap piece of paper, and now I'm coloring it again. So, you make mistakes, you learn to live with them. I am using my Color It watercolor pens and my Tombow brush pens for this spread. I love the way this drawing's set up, and I love the color scheme of Lilo and Stitch. Also, Lilo and Stitch is my favorite movie ever. If you know me, you know that I have Ohana tattooed on my body. So I have decided to use blues, of course, because it's Stitch, and I am using one purple accent, a light pink accent, and a yellow accent for the ducks and the little stuffed animal that Lilo made. I love it so much. Her little hair is made out of straw or something, I think, and it's fabulous. And so I've chose this design because it's little ugly ducklings, and from whenever he's reading the book. But the other picture I had was him reading the book, and I didn't love it as much as this one because this one's so chill. And I'm really excited about this spread because it's got so many cute little characters that I can doodle here and there without making it super detailed in the whole spread. And that's what I'm excited about, because this whole page is just this one drawing and then letters on top of it. So I'm really excited about it. It's easy whenever you break it down like that. I'm just using the Color It darker blue and kind of using a back and forth motion to make sure the blend kind of looks like fur, if that makes sense, all over his base of his body. Then I'm going to go in with a lighter color and fill in the other sections around his eyes and his stomach. Then I'm going in with my really bright blue and making his nose kind of bold because it sinks into his face in this drawing. And I'm also doing his pads of his feet. Then I'm going in with my Sharpie because this is a separate pen, a separate piece of paper that I'm going to be gluing on top. I can do this and it won't bleed through, but be careful because it does. Actual Sharpie markers do bleed through these pages. But I'm going in and fine lining and doing his eyes and little sections of his body, as well as sketching out all of the little ducklings. Because they're white, they need that outline. Sorry again for my hair. Like I said, I film these at night and I don't care what my hair looks like. And so, there you go. But I did really enjoy just sketching out this little Lilo and Stitch inspired thing. I mean, I don't know if I guess I did get Stitch pretty good. His head is very iconic, but I don't know if I got all of the details properly because I was just looking at reference sketches. I didn't really want to look at the actual pictures because I wanted to base it off of what I was drawing. And so I'm not quite sure if the ducks look right or anything like that, but I really enjoyed just sketching, even though I had to do it 3 times because my camera wouldn't record and I had poor color choices in the beginning. But I really enjoyed sketching it all out and coloring it. It was very relaxing and I like the end product. Now I'm just going to use some double-sided tape to adhere it to the page, and as you can see I ran out of double-sided tape, so now I am using glue, Elmer's glue, and it works really well. It stays pretty well. I've never had any problems with it, but you could also use picture glue. It's probably more long-lasting, and I just inserted that on top of where the page that I messed up on was. And I kind of liked it because it made it really thick and easy to find, which is nice. And I'm just using my Tombows to write May 2021 and then outlining it in my own little style. And then I am working on my Ohana quote, and it says, Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. And me and both of my siblings have Ohana tattooed on us. This May is my birthday month and my sister's birthday month. So it's a very family-oriented month, and I love that this spread linked us together in its own little way. So I've just blocked out a little bit of color here and there. I didn't do the same thing over and over again. And then I wrote it out in my Sharpie fine liner gel pen. And that was basically it for my cover page, even though it took me a lot more time off camera. If I had got it right the first time, this sketch would have been very quick and fun. So now we are on to our calendar spread and our tracker spread. Now I'm really excited. I don't necessarily know if I love the way I did this calendar sideways. I think that if I could redo it, I would do it smaller, just upright, if that makes sense. But I did it, and I'm going with it because it works. It's just not as aesthetically pleasing, I guess, as I wanted it to be. But I'm just doing my normal grid spacing on a vertical standpoint, and then I am going to fill in the little spots at the top where I have the days of the week and each of the colors for this theme. Then I'm going in with my fine liner and writing the days of the week. But first I'm going to take my Tombows and do the little circles for each of the days of the week, for each of the dates of the month. So I was just using that brush pen for this like splash of color effect. I liked it, but I also don't know if it went with the theme very well, so let me know what you think, because this spread is my least favorite of the whole thing, but it's not horrible in my eyes. But please tell me if you think it's horrible, because I love constructive criticism. Now on to our fun spread. Now, if you know the movie, you know the part where Lilo draws Stitch on a piece of paper and fills him up with red and says that he's too mad. And I loved that scene, and I thought it would make a perfect mood tracker. So I painstakingly lined out 31 lines and then drew this little wobbly, cute sketch of him, and I made it into my mood tracker. So I will try to color in each line with whatever color matches for that. It won't be red because our theme is blue, but I thought that the idea was really cute, and I thought it would be a good way of happily tracking my not so great mood sometimes. I'm not mad all the time, but sometimes I'm not always happy. But that's life, and that's why I track it, to make sure. Then I just drew the little stuffed animal that Lilo made in the open space that I had next to my calendar trackers, and I thought it turned out really cute, and it filled up the page really well and made it happy to look at. Okay, and then the fun part begins. My tiny little calendars that I love so much and hate so much. I'm just drawing the little lines, all of the vertical lines, and then I'm going to go in and do the horizontal lines. I did not go in and write all of the dates on here because I don't need them. I have the calendar right next to me, and I hate drawing them. So if you feel like you need them, look at my past couple spreads because I did draw them out, but my hands hurt and I don't want to, and it's my journal and I can, and it's my birthday month, so I can. I'm not justifying this to you, I'm justifying it to myself, because there's parts of me that were like, why did you not put numbers in there? I don't know, it's just weird. My brain is weird. But I am very happy with this spread, and I think it'll be really fun filling it in with the blue tones. Blue is my favorite color, and I'm really excited about that. But yes, this is basically it. You know the drill. On the ends of these spreads, I just highlight over them with my Tombow brush colors and write in what I'm tracking, fill in the days of the week, and then my month is set up for May. I just have to go in and do the first week. Let me know if y'all would want me to do a recording of my weekly setups, because I do a lot of different spreads, but I've never thought that maybe y'all would want to see that. So let me know in the comments below, and I will try it out if that's something y'all want. But that is the end of our spread, and I'm really liking the way it's set up. I'm really liking the way that it turned out. I want to thank y'all so much for watching another one of my wonderful videos, and I really appreciate any feedback that you give me on anything that you think I should be changing in my spread or even my video style. But here's a little flip through of my new bullet journal. So we've got our plan ahead, Trilady tracker, pet log, money tracker, when did I last, logins and passwords, memories, and our May 2021 setup. Remember to never stop creating, guys. I'm so happy that y'all came to here. Bye!